Now seems like a good time as any to finally talk about the cast. Reb Brown as Michael Ransom. Reb does his thing.
You know?
He looks tough,
Yeah,
he screams, and he fires an endless supply of ammunition.
Reb is Reb, you know, he works in a very tight, niche acting role, and he knows what he's doing.
And
definitely did what he was supposed to do.
He's got the muscles.
He's hired for his muscles, his scream, and his, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
Strike one to Sad Eagle. Strike one to Sad Eagle. I'm in the blue zone. About 20 clicks east of Old Delta Point.
Gotcha, strike one. Where the rest of it?
The rest of Strike Command demands vengeance. Seraphinian, Zambello, Kane, Dirty.
What the hell you saying, Ransom?
They all demand justice.
He's in really good shape here, and believe it or not, he was 39, around 39 when he made this.
He was that old?
Yeah, like he was 40 around the time of Space Mutiny.
You would have thought he'd be like so much younger than that.
And as far as his acting goes, like we're not all we never go into a Reb Brown movie expecting great acting, but I'd say this actually is not bad for him.
I mean, there's a couple things that were a little off. Like any point where he's trying to do like a little like funny one-liner, he totally butchers it and makes it funny. But
yeah, but the scenes where he's angry and
he's very
conveying those lines. Yeah, he did a good job with anger.
He's good in the action scenes for sure, and he's good. Yeah, exactly. He's good like whenever he's pissed off, seeking vengeance.
Bring me to Dakota.
The scenes where he's trying to act happy and sad.
Any other emotion other than just pissed off Reb is a slippery slope.
Well, I'll give him this. He can cry.
Yeah, you can't. I give you that.
Like, it's not good crying, but I give credit to any actor who can weep and bring tears. Because crying...
I guess that often, actually. That happens a lot in his movies.
Crying on cue is hard.
I got a feeling he didn't cry in Q, though. I feel like he definitely... I don't know. You know, I'm not about to go bash on Reb.
Okay, maybe not on cue. Maybe there were some onions around.
Yeah, they found some way to fake the tears.
Still, crying for a movie is hard.
No, he did good. He did good.
And as you said, we don't really understand or get to see development of relationships with any of the characters in this movie. Like, the stuff with the villagers comes and goes so fucking fast.
And, like, he used half of them for, like, his, like, army. Like, he used a couple, like, the kids and, like, women as, like, an army.
Well, child soldiers, man.
Yeah, they didn't explain it. That was my only complaint, but,
And, the two villagers, the only villagers he gets any screen time with is this young woman and her little brother. And Reb and this kid, where do we begin? It's just, it's odd, and maybe we're just coming at it with dumb young minds, but the way that Reb and this kid interact and the way it's filmed and edited, it comes off as very creepily, almost,
yeah, it's not...
I don't want to say romantic, but...
Well, it's supposed to be a father-son kind of relationship where, like, he comes to save the whole village, and this kid looks up to him, and so it's kind of supposed to be, like, Reb kind of like the...
Yeah, but...
The father figure, but it comes off creepy. It's almost like I can't even describe it. It's a very uncomfortable scene every single time. They're, like, looking into each other's eyes really...
Yeah, they're
passionately,
staring and smiling, and you just, like...
You don't get the father-son vibe. You get like what's really going on here? It's a little creepy.
But watch yourself, though, huh? I will. Come on, let's go. Hurry.
May God protect you.
You too, love.
It's creepy stuff. It's just Reb. When he's not pissed off or crying, he's
not good at...
He's not good at really trying to get across what he's trying to get across. He's not good at the...
He's not good at the emotional range. And... Hey, here's a really horrifying thought to think of. 2 years before this movie, Space Mutiny, actually a year before, in 1986, Reb was the star of a 1940s period movie that was a real dramatic film. It was a drama called Death of a Soldier, and the whole film pretty much relied on Reb's ability to act.
And when wait, this was like the early '80s. Like it was a couple years before.
1986.
Okay.
And it was a drama about an insane soldier in World War II who kills.
I would like to see that movie. I feel like it'd be ridiculous.
Who kills people, kills women, and one of his superiors trying to declare him insane so that he can spare Reb the death penalty. I don't know what to make of it. It's actually uncomfortable at times, especially when you find out that it's based on a true story. And from what I read, the movie followed the real events pretty close.
Really?
And Reb's performance...
I respect that.
Reb's performance in Death of a Soldier, I don't know whether it's bad or if he really nails acting insane.
Those girls that were murdered? What murders? I killed. Been drinking again? Eddie, you will go into town. And we'll get drunk and you can walk on your hands. Eddie! Yeah! Do you masturbate, Eddie? No, sir. Like singing, Eddie? Yeah, I like singing a lot. I like to sing. You want to hear me sing?
But anyway, Reb's relationship with the kid is creepy and, even though, as we said, not that well developed. But what's even more badly developed is the relationship with the sister, who the little boy says, "You should marry him," and she acts like she might have a crush or something. But it's so brief, you really don't have time to process it.
Yeah, at all.
You never smiled at anyone before.
You mean the American?
He's big, strong, and brave. He could be an ideal husband for you.
Huh. Oh, really?
And I have no objection, you know.
What are you, her dad?
I have a brother who is completely crazy.
Oh, so that's her brother.
I bet.
She dies in the next scene, right?
He leaves, comes back, and finds her dead. Guess the wedding's off.
Postpone that one.
What did you think of the scene where he's holding the boy and he talks to him about Disneyland, the place the kid always wanted to see?
I mean, I understand what he was going for, like just trying to like comfort the kid in his last few moments, but he keeps everything he hits on Disneyland is like just the most like ridiculous parts of Disneyland, like popcorn, ice cream, and the genie. Is that what you mentioned? The genie.
Yeah.
You can be talking about Disneyland, like Mickey Mouse, like all the roller coaster ride. I don't know. Like it was a little odd. It was a weird scene. It's not like without a question.
America, tell me about Disneyland.
You got tons of popcorn there.
He got tons of popcorn. He loves the
All you
popcorn.
gotta do is go climb a tree to go eat it. And there's cotton candy, mountains of it.
This is terrible.
And chocolate milk and Maltons.
I mean, the food at Disney... Okay, I've never been to Disneyland because it's so far away.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I've been to Disney World, and if the food's anything like it is at Disney World, it is good, but come on.
Nothing to brag about.
Rides! And also, it's funny to hear him talk about the genie because this movie was made... Maybe there was a genie at Disneyland. I don't know. I wasn't alive in the 80s. But it's kind of funny now to hear him talk about the genie because this movie came out a couple of years before Aladdin was even made.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And after the kid dies in his arms, and the way they shoot it, it looks like the kid died because Reb's attempt at sad acting was just so painful to sit through.
There's a genie. A magic genie.
I think his words are killing him.
And I can't wait to grant your wishes.
He's like, yep, that's the one. That's all I need to hear.
And after the kid dies, Reb just howls, Jacoda! And just goes on a piss spree, spraying the bullets in pure anger, yelling, Jacoda!
Giving away his spot and leading him to captured.
When he got captured, I'm like, are you really surprised?
Yeah, you just start spraying bullets everywhere. Obviously, people are gonna hear you.
Stealth is not one of Reb's strongholds.
Not in the slightest.
If there's any relationship that Michael Ransom has with anybody that seems like we might understand a little bit of it, or it's the most fun to watch, it's the one he has with Ledoux, the Frenchman.
What will it do?
But maybe that's because it's fun seeing Reb Brown and Luciano Pignozzi again after they starred in Yor as Yor and Pact. It was cool to see them together again.
For sure. One of the highlights of the movie.
Wasn't as long as he was in Yor.
Yeah.
But it was cool to see him in his natural voice.
Yeah, that was the best part. The part that he just had a little French accent.
Would you like a drop of it?
No, thank you.
It's not bourbon, but it gives you the feeling.
You enjoy it, old man.
Thank you. We've been under constant attack here. Every day that get come, the women abused.
And when he talks about, I steal not only tool or booze, I take the captain's woman.
Yeah, that was funny.
They are the ones who shoot at us.
I need some expenses.
Give here. Look, I stole this when I was in the French army in 1955. And that's not all. I stole the captain's woman, too.
Hot damn. You got any more of them?
Pac was a player in the day.
Double back to the village.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go down and try and blow up that tugboat.
What's the, who's he keep talking about too? Father,
Talks about Father Francois,
yeah, Father Francois.
a priest that he and the Vietnamese knew.
Father Francois.
2 officers, monsieur. A man and a woman. And the man is the incarnation of Lucifer. It was he who killed Father Francois. They called him Jacoda.
And then Jacoda shows up and he says, holding him by the throat, "Do you remember me, Frenchman?"
Do you remember me, Frenchman? Now you can join your friend, Father Francois.
Oh, Pat. Why? Even though it was silly, it was sad to see this guy die, just because
It's a great dude.
Pac-Man.
Mm-hmm. Hits you right in the feels.
Back when we did the Your review, you said, I wish Pac was my dad.
Did I say that?
Yes, you did. I have it on video.
I stand by it. You know, great dude. French accents, on point.
Most badass, bald, fat man that ever lived. to the supporting players. Alex Vitali as Jakota.
Oh, yeah, this guy was a great guy.
You said you thought he sounded more Italian than Russian.
Yeah, I mean, we'd have to check, but his voice was definitely dubbed. Like, it did not sound anything like a Russian guy, or the actor himself, for that matter.
Don't be so impatient, Ransom. Your return will come.
Doesn't, like, sound anything like he looks.
I look at the big guy, I imagine a more nasally voice.
Same.
And you listen close, Ransom. Start reading.
Sounds Italian, not Russian.
Or an Italian doing a Russian impression.
Exactly.
Read.
A lot of people were dubbed in this movie, and
A lot.
surprisingly, Reb wasn't one of them.
Which he might, maybe, no, you know, he did a good job.
I mean, he did, but I'm surprised they didn't dub him anyway, because
Yeah.
that's how the Italians roll.
Yeah, I guess I like that.
Alex Vitali, great villain. I mean, I don't know how his acting would have been undubbed, but he had the look of a villain.
He definitely looked like a villain, for sure.
Huge. Like, yeah, I agree. You were right. He is bigger than Reb.
Bigger than Reb.
He's got the bald head, so he looks like a supreme douchebag.
Yeah, he just looks like a freaking dick. And this dude's just ripping up like this. This dude's yoked.
I don't know if he's bigger than Reb.
I think he might be.
Maybe. At the very least, they're equal.
Oh, dude, he's massive.
Think he's doing steroids?
Probably.
And Louise Camsteeg as Olga, Jakota's woman, I guess.
Oh, yeah, her. Who then switches sides and kind of helps Reb out.
Yeah, she's this woman who just stands next to Jakota in all of his scenes, brings him a glass of water.
Looks like she's not too involved, that she really doesn't really support what they're doing.
Maybe that was the actress, the real actress, seeping into her character.
Yeah, just not approving of it.
Maybe she just didn't really.
Well, I mean, she kind of, the second Reb captures her and takes her kidnapped for like whatever, like the very brief time that happened, but she immediately switches sides and starts catering to him. You know what I mean? Like there's that one scene where the guy's like hops over the hill when Reb's like tying her up, and she could easily let him die right there, but she yells, "Watch out!" and he spins around and.
And that means you too. So no crying and no shouting, okay?
Watch out!
So she's like totally on his side now.
Yeah, despite being gagged and thrown around like a rag doll.
So, what's that syndrome like? You start to like
Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome, I guess.
Something. Or maybe she just didn't like Jakota.
Yeah.
Can't knock her for that. Dude was pretty crazy.
In the end, she was just there to look pretty and then get killed off.
Which happened faster than I expected. It was like.
Really fast.
Yeah. Didn't make a big note of that. So that checks. Oh, she eats pig. That's too bad. She wasn't much.
She was cute, but yeah, not much.
She did join his side, so I kind of respect her. Well, respect isn't the word, but.
You,
feel sympathy.
She, gained a few points. This character, though, the Olga character, it was just funny seeing Reb just drag her around and be like, oh!
Yeah, she was useless. Like, whenever he starts shooting, she'd, like, hide behind him, like, oh, no.
Look at us move!
Come on!
No!
Come on!
And then when he ties her up and gags her, I'm like, feminists would go nuts over this today.
Yeah, that's what now fly. Yeah, shut up. Ties her up.
No!
The worst that can happen to you is that you'll get shot by your own men.
Wow, she really is useless.
How do you say goodbye in Russian? Auf Wiedersehen.
Christopher Connolly is Colonel Reddick, and I get the feeling he was dubbed too. That might have been his real voice, the actor's real voice.
I didn't think he was dubbed. It could have been. I mean, it was hard to tell with any character, but
It looked dubbed, but it may have been the actual actor just redubbing his own voice.
yeah, that's true.
I
They
thought
were sloppy with with that too, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Listen, you bunch of army ants. This is Black Fox. Ordering all flying locusts return to base. Do you hear me? Return to base.
I thought the actor did a very, he did a good 80s villain role. Not too complex, and
Like, not complex at all. That was the one thing.
and you hated him from the start.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a very straightforward character. You knew he was a villain. You knew he was trying to foil whatever Reb was set out to do, and he did a good job at that. I guess it was a very simple character.
And turns out he's a traitor at the end, and and throughout the film, the other character, Major Harriman, keeps wanting to take Reddick out of the operations they're doing. And the superiors keep saying, no, no, and then work with them. And then at the end, the bureaucrat character will add, by the way, fuck him.
Raddick is free to do as he damn pleases with Strike Commando, huh? Colonel Raddick has strong support in Washington. They think he's a brilliant officer. Oh, Harriman, I too consider Raddick incompetent. I'll be dependent on you to compensate.
And in almost every scene, it looked like this guy was about to collapse from heat exhaustion.
Yeah, the whole cast was sweating the entire time. Clearly.
That's pretty frightening. Do you think he can still get to the rendezvous point? We gave him 24 hours. That place is just crawling with Viet Cong.
I want to be there and command the operation.
All right, Major Harriman. You'll be in charge of the helicopter squad.
Mike Monty as Major Harriman.
Which one was he? Was he the one?
He was the soldier that helped Reb.
Oh, he was a great guy. Yeah, he actually, honestly, his character
He was probably the
aside
best.
from Reb, probably my favorite character.
He was probably the second best character in the film, and I think he probably had more development than any character, or at least more dimension.
Yeah, no, I tell you, he was a reasonable character.
Yeah, and he did everything he could to help.
He had the hard decision to make of whether to stick with
Reddick or help Ransom, and he chose Ransom. Gotta love him for that.
This is Sad Eagle in Unit 1. We shall continue search for Commander Mike Ransom. Out. But, sir, you just follow my orders. I'm your commanding officer on this trip. Got it? Yes, sir.
I like him.
Sad
Of
Eagle,
course.
I'm ordering you back to base, Harriman.
Can't make you out, Black Fox. Too much interference.
And Mike Monty, he's been in a couple of Reb's movies. He was also in The Firing Line and Last Flight to Hell. And he was in another few Bruno Mattei films like Zombie 3. And the only other interesting fact I can find about Mike Monty, Major Harriman, kind of gray hair, thick black eyebrows. This guy was always a B-movie actor, so he would take whatever work he was offered. Guess what type of movies he did for a while at one point, or he would do every now and then?
But
Adult films.
really,
Porn.
oh wow! Now I'm just completely thrown off on the guy. He did not peg me. I did not peg that kind of.
You wouldn't peg him for a porn star?
No, would not. Just straightforward dude. He was fighting for the cause, you know.
Well, the character or the actor.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, maybe he's a good actor. I guess he did a good job there. But all right.
Hey,
Whatever pays the bills, I guess. I mean,
sticks out in the B movies and sticks it in the pornos.
Jesus.
We keep talking about how Bruno Mattei is a rip-off artist, but we don't mention what this movie is a rip-off of. And if no one has been able to figure it out yet, this movie is a rip-off of Rambo First Blood Part 2. Yeah, goes to Vietnam, finds out the Vietnamese are working with the Russians, and there's scenes of the hero being tortured with electroshock equipment. But other than that, there are a lot of moments that are not from Rambo 2. Like, Rambo 2 took place years after the Vietnam War. It was about them finding out that there were still soldiers stuck in Vietnam. Strike Commando, it takes place during the Vietnam War while it's still happening. And the movie, it's almost like Rambo 2 if Rambo 2 had a 20-minute intro. Because the part where they give Reb Brown the camera to go in and find proof of the soldiers working together.
Yeah.
That was the opening of the second Rambo movie. That stuff with the villagers, the failed mission, that was all original.
Okay. I mean, I assume there had to be some split off from that plot at some point, but...
And also the tortured prisoner that Reb's with. There were tortured fellow American POWs in Rambo 2. I call it Rambo 2 because it's too hard to say Rambo First Blood Part 2.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Anyway, actually, I can't believe I almost forgot to mention this. The scenes with Reb and the tortured prisoner were actually extremely well done.
Yeah, those are good ones.
Like, I actually thought those were pretty emotional moments.
Who else is here? How many more prisoners are there? Dakota, he killed the rest of us. I'm the only one left. And now, I think I know why they kept me alive. It was because of you. Because of me? You're tough. Instead, I was the first to give in. Martin Boomer is Martin the faint-hearted. The coward. I tried to resist. I just can't stand physical pain. I never could.
And the actor they had, really did a good job looking broken and in pain.
Mm-hmm.
And I love this movie, and I stand by that it is the ultimate suspension and disbelief experience. But there is one, and I know this is stupid, but there is only one moment in this film that I still I just can't suspend disbelief for. It's, you see, the tortured prisoner dies from all the injuries that have been inflicted on him, and Reb is locked in his cell with the corpse of the prisoner for what appears to be a very long time. The corpse has rotted, and Reb is
covered in his nose,
gasping for air. And when they bring him out when he says he'll do the broadcast, at first he seems like he's going to read it, and then he grabs the mic and yells,
I know the war isn't going very well right now.
And so that's the reason I'm telling you guys to hang in there.
Stop it.
Fight like hell.
Get away from
Show these bastards who the hell we are.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Shut up, you.
"Oh yeah, but also, really? After everything he's been through the past few months?"
Can't break Reb Brown.
This is the one part of the film where my suspension of disbelief just draws the line a little.
For now, it's worse for him. Move it.
When I watched it the first time, like, I know, it's supposed to be cartoonish, but I just started thinking, no. How the hell is he able to fight after all the torture he's been through?
Not to mention there's like 30 people in the room. Like, there's no way he gets away with that. I mean, it was definitely a little over the top, but
Yeah.
you need to take a little poetic justice with that one.
But it was funny. And that scene where he blows up that boat.
When he's prepping it to like blow it up.
Yeah. I'm guessing he's gonna leave. He's gonna throw one without the pin.
Yeah. Like this little skinny dude's gonna hold back Reb, you know what I mean? He can rip that dude's hand to shreds.
Well, seems to be doing well so far.
Our Father who art in heaven.
Yeah.
He knows the most ridiculous stuff.
The last thing I will mention, because I think it's a good note to go out on, that scene where Reb is rescued by the Vietnamese after apparently keeping his head under the water for several hours.
That part was hilarious. After he gets basically killed by one of his commanders, he survives for an undisclosed period of time completely underwater while he's passed out.
Yeah.
So not only can he kill every single person, but he can survive underwater.
Has he been under there this whole time?
Yeah.
Reb is nurtured back to health in a small hut, and when he wakes up, the first thing he sees is a bunch of Vietnamese wearing whiteface, just looking really creepy, and they're screaming at him, and he's like,
American! American!
I love Reb's face during that scene. It summarizes just how anyone would react in that situation. Just like, what the fuck? I mean, imagine waking up to that.
Yeah, I can't.
And that scene itself is not in Rambo 2, but guess what movie it's copied from?
Oh, it's copied from a movie? What?
It is a copy of a scene from Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Really?
Where pretty much the exact same thing happens to Mel Gibson when he wakes up in a hut that's several feet in the air. So yeah, Bruno Mattei knows no bounds.
Yeah. Just picking and choosing good parts in different movies and slapping together. Strike Commando.
All in all, I love this film, and did you have a good time watching it?
Always do. Can't go wrong with Reb Brown.
Sweet. And if you had to give it a rating out of 10?
You know, this one I'm going to give a go. This one was entertaining. I'm going to give it an 8. For Reb Brown quality, 10.
Cool. Me, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Well, thanks for coming back again, Nick.
Pleasure as always.
Glad it wasn't another 2-year gap.
Yeah, you know, hey.
And 2 Reb Brown reviews in 1 year. Can't get any better than that. Well, see you next time, and hope everybody's having a happy November.
Just getting bruised up while that was going down.
Hey, if you're gonna die, go out drunk.
Yeah, right. Fuck. That's not shooting.
They don't think he's worth it.
Yeah. Oh, it's unreal. Bonjour.
Motherfucker.